Hey everybody, it's Ben. Go Ben. Still setting up a little. Looks like everything's correct. Oh, there's no chessboard. I forgot the chessboard. Darn. Okay, now everything's correct. Je regrette, mais je forget. Ooh, coffee. I made the coffee good. Go coffee. Or as they say in India, kulfi. Let's see. Clouds in my kulfi, clouds in my kulfi, and you're so vain. You probably think this coffee's about you. Frankly, delicious. So Matt Larson sent me funny text. He said, "Fisher Prize incoming?" Question mark. And I responded with, "Yep." Yeah, we're funny. None of the commentators picked Carissa Yip to win the tournament. And one picked Nazi and one picked Crush. Those are the worst picks ever. And so forth. The shirt is brighter. No. The Falcons were up 28-20 when I left. I knew the Lions were winning. Yeah, the Falcons are playing the worst team. They're not beating them badly enough. But the Lions are making up for it. Man, Washington Commanders and the Baltimore Ravens, they don't play far from each other. It's pretty close. They only play once every 4 years because they're in a different conference. But yeah, it's sort of like a home game for both, except for the season ticket holders. Then it's only a home game for one. Vanderbilt won again. What? Are they in the NFL? Go Vanderbilt. Volankar subscribed. Thank you. The more you subscribe, the more subs we have. The open section, no. I'll pick Sevian. Got to pick somebody. Did Sam Shanklin not win a winning position again? Sounds like him. Frankly, terrible technique. Let's see here. So Carissa won. The old women drew. Talia and Rose is better for Rose. Nazi drew. Atusa's going to lose to Tatev. And Begum beat Megan Lee. Draw. Shanklin, ridiculous. Okay, Shanklin's going to draw. Ronian's much worse against a Wander. Liang. Liang has 4 pawns for a bishop and an ending. And Fabiano won against Ray. And Hans won against Dominguez. So those are the results. Well, Fabiano won with black, so that's good for his, chances of winning. Should it not be allowed? Should what not be allowed? Playing chess? Why would you ever pay attention ever, ever, ever from anything Kramnik says? You might as well tell me what Trump thinks about it. Oh, I have to move the camera. I forgot to do that. That looks better, I think. I think it's better. Or it's butter. It's one of them. Why Naroditsky not in the U.S. Championship? I'm not in control of the invitations or the ratings. I assume he's not high rated enough. Nobody knows how they got home. I'm very concerned, Bonarici. Hi, T. New Chess. They were never there to begin with. That's right. Trump may not be competitive, but so is. Go Wesley. They're eating the dogs, eating the cats, they're eating the pets. U.S. Championship is double round robin. It is not. It is single round robin. It's a rockin' robin, actually. Yeah, once the hurricane's over, they stop talking about it. Do you think Vivek will get deported if Trump wins? As long as Vivek Rao doesn't get deported. What? Not everybody in Ohio is a vegan? I can't believe it. That's terrible. Columbus. I lived in Columbus before you were born. Then when you were born, I moved out. Hi, Chess TV. I'm Ben. Today we look at subs games they submitted for analysis. Yeah, when I lived in Columbus, I was a vegetarian. Can I submit a game? You cannot. Man, every week people are like, how do I submit a game? You submit it beforehand, so it's all ready to go. You can submit a game next week. So next week before the stream starts, you can submit a game. Also, you're banned. Big Daddy gave 1 bit. Hooray. Nobody can submit a game. Not nobody, not know how. If you donate $500, I will review the game next week. Oh, snap. You know, as long as you donate $500 next week also. Yay, Smurfette gave 1 bit. Hooray. The biggest donation I've ever received from Smurfette. Favorite Simpsons character? What year is this? I mean, that was so long ago, you'd think like we were talking about Crush playing Zatonsky in the U.S. Women's. Oh, wait, they did play today. That's funny. A chess player guy that I know, whose name I won't say, it's definitely not Matt Larson. He calls Hans Niemann Hans Bullman. So that's a good nickname. Yay, 4 bits. Hooray. Shaving a haircut, 2 bits. That's right. Hans Moleman. Crush is cutie good. No. Yeah. I looked up the ages of the U.S. women's to see how old they were. The oldest is Zatonsky. She's 46. Then Crush is 40. And then Tatev is 36. And the rest of them have normal ages. It's Bonarici. Okay, so if we have a mod in the chat, can you do a marker for game 1? No mods here? Okay, I guess I'll do it. Man, tough break. Oh, Trying to Learn's here. I thought Trying to Learn was here. Then I thought I imagined it. Okay, so the first game was submitted by Sitbear, as per usual. And he didn't tell me which side he was, but he was black. So he's Doofus, or he's Rufus, because he's black. He's playing Doofus. So yeah, there you go. I think he was black because he won, and it says undefeated streak. This was played at the Baltimore Open in February. I was in Baltimore like a year ago, more than a year ago, and so forth. Okay, Kafagi, no talking. Okay, so I think our hero's black, but I'm not sure. This was a slow tournament. Game 45, delay 5. Okay, this is all theory. Still theory. Castle's dubious. Was it one to play? 97, 94? Yeah, either 97 or 94. Yeah, well, wants white to attack and play knight takes an h4 and play on the king side. But this is fine. Doesn't like b6. b6 is what I would play in a blitz game. Although usually I play bishop here in this line. Okay, so this is about equal. Here, black can ruin white's pawn structure with bishop takes f3. That would give black a nice advantage, which black did. Yeah, black just has a better pawn structure, so black's better. Ooh, that's not a good pawn. Yeah, you should take with the rook so that pawns are together. That's pretty bad. Rook d5 is okay, but rook d6 is, bishop can attack the rook now. Or there. Yeah, that's not good. It just wins a pawn. Yeah, black doesn't want to trade pieces. Black wants to move their king to the center. Or advance on their majority with g5. Hard to win rook endings a pawn up when you don't have a passed pawn. But still, I mean, black's winning. Ugh, rook d2. Ugh, I ate at some point today. Just no chess culture. The king of pawning is just dead lost. You're down a pawn. Pawns on both sides. Got to keep the rooks on. And the truth hurts. White doesn't know the meaning of the word resign. Yeah, Black played pretty well that game, except for the opening, when Black made some inaccuracies. But, I mean, Black played pretty well, I thought. Way better than White. So hopefully Sit Bear was Black that game. We can only hope. I was playing a little kid, so I figured trading everything would win for me. What? What chess book did you read that in? Oh, snap. Anyway, you won, so that's good. You know, if you were Black. If you were White, then that's bad. All right, that was the best game we looked at today. Okay, the next game is from our hero, Clark, who submits every week from San Francisco, I believe, or that area. Or he plays there. Yeah, this is at the Mechanics Institute. A disappointing loss for me, but an interesting game. Okay, so Clark lost to a low-rated player. I've never seen that. Never in all my years. But he played his favorite opening, so that's all that matters. How to send a game to analyze? Impossible. Okay, so he played his gambit that he likes. Milner Berry. Okay, this is the line that he plays. This doesn't take back on d4. Black seems to be playing pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't like c4. It wants to play rook b1. c4 is interesting. Let's see, I got a text. No, you lost your last round. No. Misevaluated an exchange sacrifice. All right. I told my students not to lose, but my students never listen. All right. As soon as I start streaming, everybody texts me. When I'm not streaming, nobody texts me. Ooh, Royal Fliness gave 50 bits. Whistling in the dark. Dark, 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 dark. Now we're the same strength? No, he's several hundred points better than you. Same strength. You're 1,200 and he's 1,600. Anyway, you're banned for saying you're the same strength as Clark. Unusual second pawn sacrifice. But still, White has compensation. Compensation. Now it wants White to sack a third pawn with knight d6 check. Hey, that's what he did. Whoa, queen takes. I didn't see that. It just wants you to take back. It says it's equal. It doesn't like that move because of bishop b4. See, bishop b4 stops pawn takes, and it also attacks the rook. Then it says you're worse. Yeah, now it says you're slightly worse. Yeah, bishop b4 attacks the rook and attacks the queen. Yeah, queen takes d5 looks suicidal, but I guess it's okay. Yeah, now the game's still interesting. And black, you guys are both playing pretty well. White sacrificed lots of pawns. Whoa, rook takes e6. You play a lot of crazy moves. Now it says queen g5 is the best move, but f takes is also good. Hey, play queen g5. Yeah, it says you should play knight g6 check, although you're still have a worse position. And then after it takes, then queen h3. It's hard to believe that that's okay. And that's a blunder. It says if he takes this, he's winning. Now it says you're winning with rook be1 or rook e7. No, now it says you're slightly worse. Just double rooks on the bubble up. He can't take your rook because knight g6 check wins the queen. So yeah, after rook here, it likes white's position. White wants to play rook e5, trapping the queen. Attacking the knight. Okay, so knight g6. Queen a3 check is correct. King g8's forced. It doesn't like that. It says you should play rook be1. And even though you're down a piece, you're only slightly worse. What a crazy game. Queen e5 is best. Shocking. That's a blunder. Now you can play rook e1. No, that's a blunder. Yeah, because he has bishop d3 check trading queens. Yeah, rook e1, the game's still interesting. Yeah, now you're just lost. Now you got nothing. And then you resigned. Wow, what a crazy game. Great game, but you played a little too crazy. Even when the craziness was okay, you kept playing crazy moves, and eventually one or two of them weren't okay. That was very exciting. Like, it takes to have some water. You already knew you didn't understand chess. You learned nothing. White sacrificed whenever he could for attack. And then at the end, white had no pieces left. How to send a game for you to analyze? Impossible. You have to be a sub on Twitch. Then you have to connect your Twitch to our Discord, and then you submit it on Discord the day of, before the stream starts. So it's pretty complicated, actually. You have to know how to connect your Twitch to Discord. You have to know what Discord is. Not easy. I'm not a Discord fan, but I'm the only person in the world who's not a Discord fan. Everybody else says Discord's the greatest thing ever. So, what do I know? It's not like I'm smarter than everybody, just Trump voters. I don't have Discord and I'm 21. No. It's a good thing you dropped out of high school. Otherwise, people make fun of you. Go carry your pigeons. What's so bad about Discord? Says Tonkan. Discord looks like a 5-year-old made it. People on the internet seem to like things that are bad. So I guess if it's really bad, they really like it. Yeah, send your PGNs to my TikTok. If you can't do it, then find my Insta. Oh, that's funny. How would you improve Discord? Yeah, carrier pigeon would be good. I have Instagram and TikTok. They are full of cat videos. That's because you submitted all the videos, Bonarici. Terrible. Have you ever been faced Magnus? What? Can somebody translate? When I saw Magnus last time, I said, your face, your face, your face. And then the song just ended. Did you ever play Magnus? Yes. How do you not know whether I've played Magnus or not? Who are you people? Been Magnus you faced. Ah, that's what Yoda would say. The first time ever I saw Magnus's face, he was grinning from ear to ear, 'cause he was playing me. I lost the 2 Bs. Wait, is that true? Did I lose 2 bishops? I think so. Yeah, I gave up the 2 bishops right away. Darn. The first time. You were translating. That's right. Cats will now be eaten instead of funny cat videos. Okay, next game. Where's my mods and stuff? Anybody? YouTube members get nothing. Okay. Made Shadow the Meh. Wow. Okay, next game, our hero is white. The players are 2160 and 2200. Rated classical game on Lichess. Although time control's 1515. And he didn't write anything about the game. He didn't say like this was a good game or a bad game or this was interesting. Just submitted the game score. That's the way I like it too, so thank you. I can't pronounce your name, and I can pronounce your opponent's name, so I assume you won. Okay, let's see. Our hero's white. It was a King's Indian. Hopefully you guys saw my Kasparov King's Indian lecture a few days ago. If you didn't, you can go to YouTube and watch it. Still a theory. Oh, I don't know the move h6. That doesn't look right. That looks good. Ooh, g5. That doesn't look good. Yeah, this looks like black's just already lost. Yeah, this looks terrible for black. Ugh. I was wondering how black was 2200, and then I saw it was Lichess. Even Lichess 2200 seems high. I haven't seen anything this passive since my first date with Karen. Okay. C5. There we go. Both sides of the board. Yeah, black's pretty passive. Wow, the knight's coming to g5 or f5, whatever that square's called. Wow, knight c5, and it's actually a good move. Knight wants to come here, knight wants to come here. Two connected passed pawns. What else? Well, that's it. That's the end of that. Yeah, this is just terrible for black. Black's pieces are all terrible. Setting up for the next game. Sounds like an airplane's landing. Wow, white played great that game, and black played terrible. That was a good example of like chess master and chess amateur, except the guy who was 2200 was the amateur. Yeah, white played in the mid 90s that game, and black played like in the 70s, I would say. Just terrible. Yeah, the way black played the opening, like after here, yeah, like the next like 7 moves black made were all bad. H6 is bad. Knight H7 is bad. G5 is really bad. F6 is not good. And then black's already losing in this position strategically because black's pieces all just can't move anywhere. And white dominates the C file. That was a very good game. Yeah. Anyway, whoever had black is banned. Yeah, white played great. Especially knight c5. It was unnecessary, but it's good. It gives white, a crushing pawn center. Yeah, now the pawns are just rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Yeah, it was really good play from white. Black's piece is terrible. Especially the bishop. Ugh. Play bishop g7, the king's Indian, then play h6 and f6. Man, the truth hurts. If you're going to do that, you have to play bishop f8 immediately, not queen f8. Yeah, very good play by white, though. And also, his name's really cool. Nacht von Aug. Whatever it says, that's good. It probably means something in German, like, I'm a nice guy. Maybe it means goodbye yellow brick road. Got knocked and Fowen. Could take a short break so I can see some more results. Maybe get a coffee. My daughter's taking midterms. I was asking her how she's doing. 85% in circuits and electronics. Good. She's a first-year senior at Wayne State. She'll be a second-year senior next year because her major's too complicated, so it takes like 5 years to complete it. It's like computer and electrical engineering or something like that. That actually might be what it is. Emperor Moth, I Googled it. GM Smurfette, you can't post stuff like that on my channel. What is this, the internet? How did it let you post that? And where are my mods? A Nigel short break. Okay, I'm gonna get more coffee. Yeah, don't post nonsense in the chat. There's children watching. Or people who act like children. can't figure out what to do. All right, good game. Somebody do a marker for the next game. Got Bonarici in the house. In the flippity floop. You were lucky. Okay, next game is from Bonarici. This is from a final with Fedorowicz in 92. I assume at the U.S. Open in Dearborn. That's my assumption. What is infuriating is I can't even tell where I went wrong. I didn't hang a piece. I moved my king up in the end game. Remembered 13 moves of opening theory. And it was like the Kramer karate scene. I didn't have a chance. He went 22-0 that day. He also signed all the game scores, which is really nice. I tied for second in that U.S. Open, and the Fedorowicz beat my dad in the U.S. Open in that tournament, and the New York Times published the game and said it was me that lost to Fedorowicz. And then we wrote them and said that wasn't me, that was my dad, and they never corrected it. Typical New York Times, liberal rag. GM Smurfette, 100 bits. Go GM Smurfette. Well, the Lions were good last year. The thing is, usually Dallas is good in the regular season, then they fail in the postseason. But this year they're failing in the regular season too. So they're one-upping themselves. No, I'm sure GM Smurfette's a GM. That's right, Mountain Dude. I'm still waiting for them to fix that. Well, that's okay, Mark, if they do that. I lost to Wojo in that tournament, I remember. Ben knows me. I do. I know a lot of people, but I still don't know who they are. I'm sure Smurfette's a GM. It says so, GM Smurfette. Ton Khan, Ben, do you know me? Yeah, you're Ton Khan. Even though it's Tien Khan, I still call you Ton Khan. It's easier. Okay, so here's the game. Bonarici was black against Fedorowicz. Let's see if I can find out what you did wrong. So far, nothing. Yeah, Queen C8's okay. Yeah, the engine doesn't like bishop f8. It wants you to play either e takes d4 or knight a5. It says white's better here, but okay, you shouldn't lose because you're worse. You're slightly worse. Yeah, and typically when people play d5 in the Ruy Lopez, you want to play c6 if it's legal. Usually they play d5 after you've played, c5. So here you want to play c6 and attack the center. So you're just worse now because your position's very passive. You're supposed to put pressure on the d4 pawn when you play bishop g4, but you just made random legal moves, and then you got your bishop here, and that's not very good. Your bishop would be better on d7 or b7, especially if you play c6. Ooh. Yeah, you don't play bishop h5 and g6 in chess. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, now you're just two bishops for nothing, and your bishop's not very good. White has chances for initiative on the queen side. But okay, you still shouldn't lose. He's just like plus zero point 0.5 now. He's not going to play super accurately. It's a simul. Yeah, A5 was correct. Yeah, you're playing okay. Just you're worse, but you're not lost. Ooh, you can't play 98. You can't play boring positional chess when you're down a pawn. You have to play aggressively. So bishop h6, controlling the diagonal, or h5, h4, and put your knight on f4. You can't play 98 and play boring. You're down a pawn. So 98 is too passive. Basically, you played very passively this game, and when you didn't, you played well. Like when you played a5 and sacked a pawn, that was good. But a lot of your moves were too passive. Yeah, knight's just on c7. You're playing very defensively, trying not to lose. And that's not good. Yeah, knight b5 is a mistake also. This ending's pretty lost. You finally played bishop h6. Too late. Yeah, Fedorowicz playing well. You said you moved your king up in the endgame. He moved his king up in the ending. What are you talking about? He played f3. I can't believe you lost. Yeah, you just played too passively that game. But 98, knight c7, knight b5 was all bad. All those moves are bad. But before that, like in the early middle game here, like you play queen c8, rook e8, bishop f8. It's too passive. That's not why you played bishop here. You played bishop here so you could take on d4 and attack his center. So if you take on d4, then you have pressure on d4 and e4, and that's why your bishop is on g4 and h5. If the pawn's on d5, then bishop here doesn't really make any sense. So when you play rook here and the queen's on e2, you want to open up that file. Now you're just worse. But yeah, John played a really nice game. John used to be really good. Then he got old and not so good. But John was, top 10 in the U.S. for at least 10 years, and maybe top 5 at some point. Very good player. Although not in 92. 92, he was already old. Man, what is 92? 32 years ago? He was old 32 years ago? God damn. Wow. How could he be old 32 years ago? He's a lot older than me, and I wasn't old then. Let me see. Is Fedorowicz 70? Oh, yeah, let me see how the Lions are doing. 47-9. And there's still time in the game, and the Lions have the ball. I think Fedorowicz is 70. He's only 66. So he wasn't old when you played him this game. He was like almost in his prime. Although I did finish, I got 9.5. I think the U.S. Open in 92 is actually on U.S. Chess. I can actually look that up. I don't know how many points Fedorowicz got at the tournament. It goes back to 91 or 92, so I think the tournament's actually in here. New York Open. Yeah. I've played 600 tournaments since that U.S. Open. It's not 600 games. I've played 600 chess tournaments since that U.S. Open, Bonarici. God damn. That's like the 4th tournament rated on my list. Fedorowicz tied for 2nd with me. He drew the last round against I.M. Strauss, and I drew the last round against Ron Burnett. And Kadynov got first with 10. We all got 9.5. It was me, Fedorowicz, Strauss, Lane, Ron Burnett, Ray Stone. Oh, I didn't know Ray Stone tied for 2nd. I beat Ray Stone 3 rounds from the end. He lost on time. He blundered a pawn in the opening, and then the game was equal near the end and his time fell. Yeah, I think I had 5 wins and 7 draws. Or is it 7 wins and 5 draws? 7 wins and 5 draws, yeah. Fedorowicz lost to Kadynov in round 8. But then he won rounds 9, 10, and 11. So he caught up. Those were the days. Fedorowicz was 26-41 USCF. And by tying for 2nd, he lost 3 points. Damn, the truth hurts. Kadynov was 27-31. He got clear first, and he broke even on rating. I gained 5 points. Yay, I got to 25-63. That was a long time ago. I think my brother played. I know my dad played. Etc. Back in the good old days. You got to play Benjamin Bach a couple days ago. He said, I'll be Bach. Do I think my brother will ever be GM? Well, I'll put it this way. My brother has the same chances of being a GM as Levy Roseman does, or Rosman, whatever his name is. So that's what I think. Anyway, you played pretty well. Considering you're playing somebody who's over 2,600, and, you were slightly worse most of the game with black. That's no insult to my brother. They just, they're about the same strength. They have about the same amount of chance. Oh, snap. Yeah, 9 out of 12, you would have won some money for sure. Levy studies all the time and has a GM coach. That doesn't matter. His coach is GM Nixons. Not that that's how his name is pronounced, but, They meet 1 hour a week. Well, if you believe that, I guess you'll believe anything. Levy does do well in Title Tuesday. I'll have to ask Kramnik about that. I would, but I saw the game Levy beat Nepo, and nobody was cheating that game. Hans becoming world champions more likely than Levy becoming GM, because 1% is more than 0%. But chances for Hans is between 0 and 1%, which is better than it was. I used to give him less than 1%. Or, less than 0%. Or something. Yeah, Hans isn't world championship level, but, there could be a plane accident or something. And he's goes from number 20 in the world to number 5. Why Dingliren fell off, I don't know. Truth hurts. How long was Kaidanov your coach? A couple years, 92 to 94. Can Gotham be a super GM if he trained under Kramnik? No. Bring on Karen. Where's Karen? She's upstairs as far as I know. Although when I went to get coffee, she wasn't there. She probably was somewhere. People play better chess when they live in free societies. That doesn't sound right. Wasn't the Soviet Union the best country in the world for 50 years? And Eastern Europe was not far behind? That's the worst theory I ever heard. Ding's family is not being threatened. You guys are all crazy. Are all the books on your shelves chess books? The one behind me is mainly chess books. We have thousands and thousands of books in the house. Most of them are not chess books. Is going from 144 to 730 good in the last 3 months? No. Hi, Zimbabwe. They are checkers books. No, the reason it's not good is it's great. You gain hundreds of rating points. If you ever find somebody who does that, let them know that that's great. China has done this before to their athletes. Yeah, they're not doing anything to Ding or his family. Ridiculous. Frankly. Morphy went crazy. Zukertort went crazy. Steinitz crazy. Tall was born crazy. Tall was born crazy? Goddamn. Fischer went crazy. Kasparov split the title. Magnus left. Ding got the yips. Yeah, but Carissa Yip's pretty good. My friend, what's the longest airline flight you've been on? Detroit to Shanghai. That was like 15 hours. That's the longest flight I've been on. When the commentators did their predictions for who would win the U.S. championship and U.S. women's before round one of the commentators picked Crush, and the other one had a worse pick, and that's not even possible. And they picked Pakidze. That is the two worst picks I've ever heard. You could only pick three people. You should all pick Yip, and nobody picked Yip. Just ridiculous. And if you don't want to pick Yip for some reason, I don't know why, you want to be wrong, then you could pick either Begum or Alice Lee. Like, those are possible dark horses. Like, if Carissa got really sick and she had to withdraw from the tournament, then you could pick Alice Lee or Begum Tokarjanova. No, reasonable. One time in the U.S. Championship, Zatonsky got sick and had to withdraw. I think she had gallstones, which I had a long time ago. Terrible. Yeah, I can tell you who everybody picked and make fun of their picks. Okay, Yasser picked his nose. Oh, wait, that's not what I was talking about. Okay, so Nemtsova picked Aronian and Abrahamian. Tatev is the worst pick. Aronian's also not a good pick, so that's pretty bad. Yasser picked Karawan and Pakidze. Pakidze is ridiculous. The best pick was by Christian. He picked Karawan and Tokarjanova. Then Anna, is that her name? Karlovic. She picked Hans Niemann and Irina Krush. And I forgot this GM's name. He's played in the U.S. Championship. I forgot his name. He picked Dominguez and Alice Lee. Dominguez? Also, is Dominguez spelled wrong? Let me see there. Oh, no, they spelled it right. Yeah, picking Tatsev, Crusher, Pakidze is nuts. Missouri always goes red. For governor, sometimes they're blue, but for president, they're always red. Yeah. Missouri's like half stupid, but they favor stupid. So they're like, okay, we're actually stupid. A lot of Missouri is, KKK and such. White supremacy. Lots of illegal drugs. Truth hurts. If Levy played in the U.S. Women's, he would have no hope of ever winning it. Same as GM. If they just took out like Megan Lee and put in Levy, he'd get like 50% or less. Probably less. Minus 2. Do you know anyone who voted for Strom Thurmond or George Wallace for president back in the day? Well, I wasn't born yet, but, probably. Should I feel bad you did a 7-rook checkmate? Yes. You should always do an 8-rook checkmate. Will Georgia be won by Democrats? Yes. Well, Levy's a nice guy. He didn't do nothing. He's just not GM strength. Can't just pronounce one day you're going to be a GM. That's not how chess works. You actually have to play good chess. You can't say, I played a blitz game online and I beat a GM. I'm going to be a GM. That ain't how life works. If you're 10 years old and you're better than Levy, like Faustino Oro, okay, then you could be a GM. That's how YouTube views work. That's correct. I promise I won't get an abortion. I promise. Although it looks like I need one. Yeah. Nobody can become a GM. Chance of becoming a GM are 0.0000001%. Can Ms. Lee? Well, I don't know if you mean Megan Lee or Alice Lee. Megan Lee, no. Alice Lee, yes. Unless you mean some other Lee. Yeah, what is my weight now? I think it's 252. Yeah, I stopped doing that years ago. Yeah, that thing's 2 years old, my weight loss stuff. Is it easier to become a GM or a billionaire? Do you think there's more GMs in the world or billionaires? You do know? Well, you can look it up. That's right, Extra Cheese Project. I'll have extra vegan cheese, please. Yeah, becoming a billionaire is easy. You have to be born into a billionaire's family. If you're born into a GM family, you don't necessarily become a GM. You could become like Anna Cramling. She's pretty good. Like, if your last name is Walton, then you might be a billionaire. Yeah, you didn't figure out being born a billionaire was a good idea. All those sponsorships last between 1 and 6 months. It's not that it didn't work out. That just was the end of the sponsorship. It worked out fine. We still take sponsorships, just we haven't had any sponsors interested. Yeah, that's correct, Nate. Shadow the Meh. The cow opening, that's. She named it the cow opening, but she didn't start it. All right, what's going on this chat? Thanks, Furry. Yeah, if you go to our YouTube page, which some people are on now watching the stream, we have thousands of videos. GM Benjamin Feingold. Most of them are instructive. Best of 5 classical chess, Gotham chess or Carissa Yip? Carissa Yip is so much stronger than Gotham chess. If they played a 5-game match, she would adopt him. Even though you have to go 10-0 to adopt somebody, she would still do it. Oh, snap. That's funny. Gotham chess or Carissa Yip. I gotta tell Matt that. So, well, you guys just really don't know anything. Someone in my YouTube chat asked, who's better, Gotham chess or Yep? That's funny. I don't know who's better, Magnus Carlsen or some guy who hasn't learned chess yet. That's a good one. Frankly, ridiculous. Can you pronounce my last name? Bonset? Although there's a thing over the N. I don't know what that does. Who's more likely to become a GM? GM Canty or GM Ken West? It's equal. They're both GMs in my heart. Is the fact that Levy makes a ton of money the reason you keep saying he won't be a GM? No, if he made no money, I would still say it. You guys, all you think about is money, which is good. It's your only hope. What you guys need to do is, if you choose to get married, you should marry somebody who's super wealthy. That's the best chance that you guys have in the chat. So think about that. Well, most people don't go on their YouTube and Twitch and say, I'm going to become a GM. And they state how they're going to become a GM and they're going for GM. And if they're bad enough and not famous, there's no reason to make fun of them. But if they're like most famous chess person out there and making the most money and they say totally absurd things, you got to make fun of them because you have to. I don't want to make fun of Levy, but I'm required to. It's in my contract with chess.com. That's a good question. Like, if I wasn't a GM, and I tried to become a GM, I wouldn't do it. But if Levy was not an IM and tried to become an IM, that would be interesting. If he could get 3 IM norms and get his rating to 2400. That's probably not. But maybe. It's close. No, a lot of Levy's fans think he'll be a GM. A lot of people watching the stream now think Levy will be a GM. They don't understand how the world works. They think because Trump became president, all you have to do is become famous to get what you want. Wait a minute. Okay. To be a GM, you have to have a 2,500 FIDE rating at some point, and to be an IM, you have to have a 2,400 rating at some point. Crush is 2,388. How did she get to be a GM? I guess she was 2,500 at some point. I mean, Crush is 40, so she's, you know, on the downspin. Who is more likely to make GM, him or Zatonsky? Equal. Zatonsky has more norms than Gotham Chess. That's true. He said that's the right answer, and he's a mathematician. So I gave the right answer about Zatonsky and Gotham Chess. What, Irina Krush is barely a GM? Yeah, you can't just snap your fingers and say, I'm going to be a GM. You actually have to play good chess. Those kind of pronouncements, they don't, you know, that doesn't help. Typically, if you want to become a GM and you're not one, it's good to be like 8 years old. That helps. If you're over like 9 or 10, then, you know, you're past your prime. Okay, next game. Let's see who played it. A decent game that was decided in the end game. Hope you enjoy boring chess. Do I? Okay, and this game was 81 moves long. And white is our hero. Both players are 1,800 plus. And this was a 3-minute game. Whoops. Man, I started chess space by accident. Ugh. That says, you want to start another chess base? Yeah. No, I don't want to start another chess base. I was trying to click on this button. There we go. Chess.com. So these ratings are real. I never watched Home Improvement. You could have said Cheers. That would have made more sense. Is Norm from Cheers alive? I mean, he either is or he isn't. Let's find out. Hey Siri, is George Wendt alive?
George Wendt was born October 17th, 1948, and is 75 years old.
So that means yes. Yes, he is. Estimated net worth, $45 million. Good, good. Okay, did somebody do a marker for the game we're going to look at? No, Norm Macdonald. Come back to life and make fun of Trump or somebody. Okay, so white is our hero. This is a 3-minute game. Both players are 1,800. Hey, I played this with black. This is the game I beat Joel Benjamin in the U.S. Championship a few years ago in St. Louis. About 10 years ago. Maybe more than 10. Maybe 11. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, H6 is the main move. Let's see. Now he played H6. Okay, now we're back to equality. It's like a London and said the bishop's here instead of here. Now you guys are less confused. Very good game so far. No mistakes. Yeah, E4 is not good. It gives black easy equality by trading everything. Yeah, probably like Queen E2 is good, or A4. Something that gains space or protects squares. I mean, you could take this and play knight f6 and gain a tempo over the game. And now it's white's move, and white can mess up black's pawns. It's still equal. No mistakes this game. Very boring game, as he said. Ooh, I don't like that move. Yeah, I like this pawn structure better for black. Now it's more equal. Yeah, that's not a good square for the knight. It's undefending the pawn. Knight f6 is better. Yeah, now white's a little better. Ooh. Ooh. There's a move I would never consider. Yeah, that really weakens the white king. Never do whatever that move is. Knight e8? Why? Rook e8. The rook on the open file. Yay, the knight went here, 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 here. Perfect. So after today's game, they interviewed Pakidze, and they were asking her, like, did you play chess as a child? And she said she did, but her first love was baseball, but she got injured as a little kid. And they said, what position did you play in baseball? And she said, shortstop. Anyway, since that's probably too complicated for you to understand, they then asked her, why did you play shortstop? And she said, oh, I liked when they printed out my position and name and it said SS Nazi. And so forth. Levy's actually surpassed WGM requirements by becoming an IM. Truth hurts. I wonder if Pakidze owns a boat and it's called the SS Nazi. Well, we'll never know. Okay, that's all just Pakidze propaganda anyway. Okay, so this is a draw. 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 Okay, I wonder when it's not a draw. If black wanted to draw, black could play queen here, check, queen here, check. But yeah, I would play for a win with black because my pawn's further advanced. That's a draw. H5? Why would you play H5? Terrible. Yeah, just play King G8, King H7, draw greed. Still a draw. It's better to be white now. Well, now white's a pawn up, so white has winning chances now. Yeah, black just lost the C pawn for no reason. Still a draw, but you could win now. So this is the worst move that's been played today in this stream. That must have been a mouse slip. Like black tried to play queen b2 check and it took the queen by accident. He's 1800. You can't play queen takes queen check. Oh, that's such a bad move. Man, that's just terrible. Can marry Hess? Yeah. All right. Tough question for the crowd. What do me and Nazi Pakidze have in common, other than that we both play chess? But we actually have something in common. Hard to believe. I'm like a monster man and she's like a tiny woman, but we have something in common. Bonarici got it. You're both women? Close. You're both Georgians? Oh, snap! Your answer's better than mine. Yeah, she's from Georgia, and I live in Georgia. Yeah, that's right. Just from different Georgias. Did she drop out of Wayne State? No, she got her degree. No, she's also a vegan. I'm not sure which one of us became vegan first. Probably her. Also, I saw Nazi Pakidze for the first time in India in 2011 at the World Junior and World Junior Girls Championships. I was coaching Ray Robson. Man, I got sick at that tournament at the end. And I went to China right before that to be the coach of the U.S. Men's team. In where was it? That's when I flew to Shanghai, and then it was in what was the name of the city? You guys have never heard of it. Even if you're Chinese, you probably haven't heard of it. Oh, snap. I've said it on the stream many times. Ningbo, thank you. Yeah. A lot of Chinese people haven't heard of Ningbo, but some have. Yeah, we took a train from Shanghai to Ningbo. Then when we got to the train station in Ningbo, we showed them our hotel, like written out, and we said the name of it, but they didn't understand us. Nobody spoke English at the Ningbo train station. Then they finally found somebody who did. And then it turns out the hotel we stayed at in Ningbo, there's 2 hotels in Ningbo with the same name. And once when we went out in the town and we came back, they took us to the other one. It was called the New Century Hotel. But there's 2 of them in Ningbo. And the truth hurts. Which 100 top U.S. players you coached at some point? Well, Ray Robson, Hikaru Nakamura. And then I coached different people at the tournament in China. Like I did yes or most rounds. And then I did Onashuk 1 round. Probably I did Hess 1 round. Mainly I was doing Yasser. Now, in this position, Ben, I prefer white. The engine says black has mate an 8. No, but let me see. I still prefer white. And I'm like, but it says mate, so you can't prefer white. Let me see the mate. Then I'll tell you who I prefer. What is the role of a coach? To prepare somebody for the game. Anyway, the hotel we stayed at in Ningbo was very nice. Probably the nicest hotel in Ningbo, if I was guessing. I co-ked Hikaru? No, I coached him. Yeah, I went with Hikaru to the Tall Memorial in 2011 in Moscow. I was his coach. He was also working with Kasparov at that point. So he had 2 coaches. That's the tournament where he fired Kasparov. He didn't have a good tournament. He fired me too. He got 6 draws and 3 losses out of 9 rounds. Conversely, Anand got 9 draws out of 9 rounds. And Magnus won the first round, drew the next 7, and then won the last round and tied for first. Jan Nepomniachtchi, who was the lowest rated, he got 1 win and 8 draws, so he tied for third. I forgot who tied for first with Magnus. That was a strong tournament. Like the weakest player was Gelfand, and he was playing for the World Championship a few months later against Anand. Tough tournament. It had all the players I named, and then some stronger players I didn't name. Man, like Svidler played, Ivanchuk. Tough tournament. Yeah, it was 10 players. Let's see, it was Magnus, Kramnik, Hikaru, Gelfand, Anand, Svidler, Nepo. And then I'm missing some of the stronger players. Oh, snap. I named all the weak players. Where were the strong players? Yeah, +2 was tied for first and second. I just remember Anand had 9 draws. That was funny. And Anand was the reigning world champion at that point, and he was playing Gelfand for the world championship in a few months. And they signed the contracts there in Moscow for their match, which Anand won in tiebreaks. Karyakin, he might have been playing, I don't know. It was Aronian. It was? Yeah, you're right. Aronian was there because I remember looking at chess with his coach. Yeah, it was Aronian, you're right. Do you think Neiman has a chance to become U.S. champion? Sure, anybody does except Robson. He's already lost 2 games. That's correct. Not only are we famous for being likable and cozy, so is Hikaru. Also, the highest rated spectator was Morozevich, who played the year before, but he wasn't invited, I guess, so he just watched the tournament. Also, I saw Averbach there, and he went to the bathroom, and I said, no, don't go. And he said, I'll be back. Man, he was old then. He was like 90 then, I think. He lived to be 100. Okay, next game. Oh, I didn't finish this game. Okay, so Black played queen takes e4. We'll just say it was a mouse slip. Okay, next game. So Karen had this great idea. I told her only 5 people submitted games. And Karen said, people? And I said, yeah. And she said, make an announcement on Discord and maybe some more people will do it. So I did, like at 6:30. And in the next 15 minutes, 4 more people submitted games. So Karen for the win. Okay, I thought this was a reasonably clean game. Somebody do a marker. Oh, you did. Think I'm getting better at chess playing this opening. Always room for improvement, though. This is a rapid game played online, and I have the black pieces. So this is a 10-minute game, and both players on chess.com are 1990. The ratings are about the same. And black plays on the stream a lot, played yesterday, and so forth. Okay. So Sicilian. Okay, the main line of bishop b5. Still theory. White is slightly better. Okay, now black is better. Bishop takes c6. Terrible. Knight b3. Terrible. So this is funny. This reminds me of a game I played where we had this exact pawn structure. Every pawn the same square. All of them. And the correct way to play was ED, CD, bishop a6 with advantage for black. And the knight was on e2. And the engine says the right way to play is ED, CD, and then f5, which I also played in that game because you open up the bishop. And that's very hard. I've given that puzzle to my students. It's very hard for them. Let me see if I can remember the exact position. I don't know if I can. Oh, first of all, they played knight e2, so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so in this position, they played d4. And I've been showing this to my students for years, this position. And I said, how does black get an advantage? There's only one way. And you have to take and play bishop a6, which I did play. And now this is just a really good Benoni. And then I think my opponent played here to stop knight c4. And I played either queen d7 or f5, I forgot. And I won a nice game. But this was a really good strategical puzzle for, like higher rated students. Is after d4, what should black play? And the answer is to play ed, cd. And here the answer is to play ed, cd, and then like f5 is good, it says. I'm sure bishop a6 is also good. Okay, f5, also good for black, because knight on b3 is really misplaced. Probably pawn takes is better. You want to play pawn takes if you can, and you can. So, but bishop takes still gives black an advantage. Yeah, knight takes is wrong. You have to take with the pawn. The knight on b3 is just totally misplaced. Yeah, now it's about equal. Well, that's not a good move, knight d2. Yeah, white should have played queen d5 check and stopped black from playing d5. It's a prophylactic move, even though it looks like, it's penetrating. Sometimes when you penetrate, you need prophylactic also. I mean, that happens. Okay, so yeah, knight d2 not as good. Now black is better. That's just a blunder. Now bishop g4 is winning. No, bishop g4 pinning the knight, and the rook is on it, and you're just winning. Bishop g4 just winning. Now it says it's equal again. c4 is explosive. Doesn't like queen takes b6. It wants to play queen c6. Now it says black is better again. Now it says black's winning. It says rook e6 is forced. Then it says black is slightly better. Now black's just winning with the two bishops and better pawns. Papa John's. Knight b1 setting up for the next game. Yeah, there's no reason to take the knight. You could just play rook b8 here. But taking the knight's okay. It's winning. Winning is good. White plays for check. 3 passed pawns. What else? Yeah, well, black just has 3 passed pawns. So nothing much. Rook h6. How does that stop black from queening all of their pawns? Yeah, white sacrificing for all the pawns is good. Yeah, here you play rook here check, not rook here. Then here you also play rook here check. Yeah, you don't move your rook next to the white king. That's putting the rook on the wrong square. And here you play rook here check. All right, unusual technique, but it got the job done. And then white resigned instead of getting mated? Boo, boo. Well, black played a lot better than white did, and their ratings are the same, so that was good. It was a 10-minute game, so I was being a little harsh, but still. White ED instead of CD? Yeah, because you want to open up the bishop in case white plays d5. The bishop is open, and the knight has the e5 square. It's a very important positional puzzle that I give my students. ED, CD, and then you hope that white plays d5 so you can play knight here. But you're putting pressure on d4. In the game that was actually played, f5 is also a good move. But ED is the best move. Because when white plays d5, you want to play knight e5 So you're getting rid of your e-pawn. So after here, your bishop is good and your knight has a good square. That's a little advanced. So if you're like watching in the chat, if you have a ball, you can bounce it. If you're Magnus and you're on the wrong channel, then, okay, obviously you understand. Yeah. So forth. I do not recall that puzzle. Terrible. I don't know if I've shown you that, but I mean, I should have. So it's possible I have, from this position. Yeah, I try to show all my students who are like your level. So I've shown it on stream, but it's been like over a year, I think. So that means people won't remember it. Anyway, good game. Good job. White, black, and there's no moves. Whoa, there's still no moves. Okay, that's not good. Oh, I see why. I see what happened. There's a mistake in the person who submitted the game. They didn't put event. They didn't put a... That's too complicated to explain. That's why it wouldn't do anything. Let's see. Where's that thing? Here. Okay. Okay, that's not good. That didn't work either. Try again. There's some weird errors in the game submission. Okay. So we did it eventually. Okay, I'm black this game, and this was my best OTB game so far. Off-trap betting? My opponent was 300 points higher rated than me, and I think he thought he could beat me because he came 20 minutes late and then went smoking for another 10 minutes. And this was the result. Okay, I don't know the ratings of either player or the names or the date or the time control. But if he showed up 20 minutes late and left for 10 minutes, probably like the game is very slow, I'm guessing. Also, I know that white is 300 points higher rated. Excuse me. That's nothing to sneeze at. Okay, did somebody do a marker? Okay, try to learn it. It was 90-30. Thank you. Con. It's the short variation. The engine says DC is the best move, but I don't know if it is. I'm sure this is theory. Also, it said CD was the best move. It says white is slightly better. Now white's clearly better. Wants to play D4. It says white's up 0.8. Doesn't like that move. It seems okay. Well, really, really hates that move. Putting the knight on A4. Just hates that. It says rook a d1 and white is slightly better. Or bishop takes c6. Yeah, the knight on A4 isn't the best piece ever. Bishop c2 is good. Control d1. Occasionally you can take this and this, but I think this is more important, is to make a queen. Yeah. Yeah, great position for black. Yeah, very nice pawn sacrifice. Black has domination of everything on the board. Always play king b8. Yeah, great position for black. White's just totally tied down everywhere. Boch. B6 X clamp. Wow, who'd play B6? You would. It stops knight c5. So yeah, it's the best move. It doesn't like that because of bishop b4. It wants you to play rook f7. Nobody's going to play. Yeah, g3 is terrible. Yeah, it wants you to play bishop d4, put pressure on f2. Trap the knight some more. Knight c3 is a good move. Black is still better because of the nice passed pawn. Moving on up. Always sack the exchange. Rook takes e3 is the best move. It's the most winning move by quite a bit. King b4 is the best move. Man, black's playing like me. Sack the exchange, move the king up the board. Knight b1's the best move. And yeah, black wins easily with the extra king. Very nice game. That is the game of the century. Yeah, you moved your king up in the end game, and you sacrifice the exchange. There's nothing left to teach you. Now you're going to take over my stream. I'm going to leave because you know everything. You know when to move your king up in the end game. You know to sack the exchange. I got nothing left to teach you guys. Bye, everybody. Karen said I had to come back. I'd give you a sub, but you're already a sub. So I can't give you a sub. Yeah, you played King B8. No, I mean that was fantastic. And not only that, you didn't win because the position was equal or slightly better for somebody, then he hung his queen. That's one way to beat a high-rated player. You just played better than him for like a 20-move period between moves like 20 and 40. So that was good. The coffee's good. It's gone. Check X. Did anybody see the new Joker movie? And how bad was it? Anybody watch Karen stream poker? She streamed for like 5-6 hours today. From like 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Something like that. Joker 2 was amazing. That's not what I heard. He slammed the table. Yep. Roy Keane said it was brilliant. What about Ray Keane? What did he say? Is Ray Keane alive? I actually don't know. Raymond Keane. He is alive. He's only 76. I thought he was older than that. Raymond Dennis Keane. Didn't know his middle name was Dennis. He's only 76? He's only 20 years older than me? Damn, I thought he was like 30 or 40 years older than me. Huh? Shows you what I know. You have to be Kyle, you have to be a subscriber, and you have to do it before the stream starts. So you can do it next week. Type !analysis, it'll tell you what to do. Thanks, Fjorda Stoyev, for subscribing. Why isn't the... Maybe if page unresponsive. Yeah, somehow the page got unresponsive. You can do song requests. They won't be fulfilled, but you can do them. That's right. I'll leave and you can listen to your own music. The first Joker movie was fire. I can't sit through musicals. But with my parents, I sat through lots of musicals my whole life, at home and at the theater. My parents were the right age to like musicals. You know, musicals from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Those kind of musicals. Batman fires the Joker. Yeah, one of my wives, I want to say my second one, she really liked Eyes Wide Shut. She saw that movie dozens of times. Yeah, Karen listens to music when she streams, so you can do that. Yeah, on Golden Pond, 1982, that was a good Henry Fonda movie. Also, 12 Angry Men, and many others. Also, my second wife liked the movie State and Maine, which nobody likes. Just a boring movie. Those are two movies she watched a lot. State and Maine is just a really boring movie. Has a good cast. Okay, next game. Yours, so next. Hey Ben, I'm on the road to 1100 in Rapid. I'm currently 1050. The truth hurts. I was proud of this game. That makes one of us. I saved the loss after a misclick on move 16. The hero is black. Okay. So there was a misclick. And both players are around 1050, 1060, etc. Thanks, Tonghan. Yeah, I really like 12 Angry Men. That's one of my 15 favorite films. The Henry Fonda one. I didn't see the remake, which I think has Ving Rhames and Jack Lemmon. Maybe. Okay, so on move 16, he made a misclick. We have a scotch. I've never seen knight f3, so we have a new move. h3 is a bit passive. So white's not playing for an advantage. White's just playing. That move's not very good. We didn't play rook e8 yet. We didn't move our bishop yet. We didn't move our queen, and we're playing knight d4. We already moved that piece. Here the engine says black should play knight c6, but probably black wasn't thinking that. All right, that's not bad. b4. There's a move I never would have thought of. Yeah, the engine wants to take on e4, but okay, bishop e6 is okay. Now c4 is better for white. It's explosive. c3 is close. Still better for white. So far, white's playing better than black. Okay, then white said that he misclicked when in fact he just blundered a piece with knight takes e5. Obviously just a piece blunder. Terrible. Yeah, if you did misclick, you probably meant to play knight f8 and somehow went all the way over here. Okay, so now white's a piece up for nothing, and black resigned. Good game. Thanks for submitting your game. No, black didn't resign. Black, in fact, did not lose somehow. Okay, so in this position, white has two normal-looking moves that stop mate. f3 and bishop f1. I wonder which one the engine gives. Oh, that's right. Bishop f1. Always play bishop f1. f3 is still winning because white's a piece up for nothing. So. Sort of interested how white didn't win. Knight c6? Thanks, Mountain Dude. Mountain Dude. Yeah, that's not a good move. The knight is defending against rook e2. So rook f2 is winning quite comfortably, or queen f2. Knight here attacks the rook and forces it to go to e2. Now white's lucky he's not lost. If the black king was on g8, then white would be lost. But we get this check. And now it's a draw because we perpetual. Yep. Wow, knight c6 is a real bad move. Because the knight's really good on d4. It's not good on c6. It allows rook e2. Really terrible move. Yeah, rook f2, queen f2. f4 is good. Play f5, f6. Rook f3. Yeah, just really poor move, knight c6. All right, good struggle, good finish. Good job. Okay, and our last game was submitted by Tortolino. He has white. Somebody do a thing. Hi, Ben. I hope I made it in time to submit this nonsense. If I didn't, doesn't matter because the customer is always right. And that's it. That's all that they wrote. And anybody? I drew at 1100 down a knight. Man, that's not something I would say. Yeah, white was lucky after allowing rook e2 that he's not lost. Okay, Tortolino's white. It's a 3-minute game on chess.com. Both players are almost 1700. Boring. Ooh, bishop e3. Bishop g5 is the main move. I've never seen bishop e3. I like it. Knight d5 is the best move, it says. Okay, so this is equal. Everything's equal. Queen d1's forced because all these pieces are pinned. But white's still doing okay here. Yeah, now we could take on a7 like Fischer, except this time it's good. Yeah, bishop takes a7 is winning for white. Because b6, the black king is too dangerously placed. Okay, now it's about equal. Then, yeah, d5 isn't good because it lets the knight go to e5. White took advantage. That just loses. Bishop takes c2. You have to take on d7, knight takes, and white is slightly better with the two bishops. Yeah, now bishop h3 wins. Did he find it? Oh, yeah, bishop h3. And then after bishop d3, we just attack the bishop. And something's going to be lost for black. So bishop h3 actually wins a piece. Bishop takes, rook d1, and the bishop can't stay on the knight permanently. So white's going to be a piece ahead after bishop h3. After d4, now the bishop defends the knight. Now black's fine. The engine says this is equal. Okay, that just hangs the bishop? I guess he thought he could play d4, but then a3 just keeps the extra piece. Okay, that's interesting, but just a3, and you can't win your piece back. If bishop here, then b4. So a3, white's a piece up. This is interesting, this exchange sack. Okay, that hangs mate, that hangs checkmate. So you have to take the rook on e1. The engine says bishop takes is best, d3 is best, rook c4 is best, d2 is best, bishop takes check, king takes, knight c3, and it says all zeros. This position's a dead draw, it says. One of the main lines is king e7 check, king back here. That's one of the main lines of the engine, which is very funny. Okay, so it should have been a draw after knight b5. Instead, black played knight takes, which gets mated immediately. Check, check. If you play king here, then knight here's mate. If you play king here, then knight here's mate. And the bishop defends the rook. So bad defense from black. And knight c7 mate. This is one of those puzzles where you're trying to find the discovered checkmate, but there isn't one. But knight here's mate. If you're playing for mate in 2 and it's like prettier, you can play this check and then go here. That's a funny mate. But okay, this is mate in 1. So that's better. What's funny is in the final position, material somehow is equal. Somehow. But yeah, black's king is in danger. Nice game, Tortolino. There should be no ads. You should all be subs to the stream. It's Sub Sunday, so if you're watching this stream, you should be a sub. You shouldn't be watching ads. Don't say good job. The guy might believe in himself, and that's not what this channel is all about. That's right. Hi, Germany. Man, you must be tired. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. Okay, and somebody submitted a game very late, so we have some extra time, so we can look at it. Hi, Ben. I played a casual blitz game on Lichess, hence the inflated ratings, as white against an anonymous national master. I flagged him in a drawn position, although I think practically I'm worse. Computer analysis said I made one mistake, although I'm not fully persuaded it's a mistake. My question for you is, in your experience, you aware of any plans that could lead to more practical pressure anytime during the game, as I felt I was never really able to make things difficult for him. Appreciate your wisdom and experience. All I had to do was not look at this game. Instead, I had to read all that. Okay, add games. Nate Shadow is white. I wonder if that's the meh. Who else would be Nate Shadow? Okay, this is a 5-minute game. Black is 2347, but that's Lichess, so 1200. And white is 2152. Nate Shadow. Sounds like a giant nerd. Okay, so white wants to know how to put more pressure in a 5-minute game. I just wonder how not to lose on time. Okay, this is all normal. It's good for white. D4 is good. Bishop takes gives black equality. It wants you to play knight f5. But in the blitz game, I'm not playing knight f5. So I understand. It's a pawn sacrifice, just says white's better. Because after knight f5, thanks Psycho Cloud 2005, somehow white's better by sacking a pawn. I guess bishop d5 is annoying. So that must be why. Okay, so bishop takes is okay. It says this is equal. Knight f5 is the best. Takes is okay. Yeah, queen d2. I mean, like, you gave away the 2 bishops, so you have no reason to play queen d2. In chess, you should improve your pieces and get them to better squares. Queen d2 just trades queens, so then you have nothing. So that's not even a move you should consider. Knight f5 makes a lot of sense. Your knight wants to go to f5. Then you're threatening bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, knight e7 check, winning a piece. And you can also kick the queen out later with g3, sometimes trapping the queen. Yeah, now you can never be better. You just, black has the 2 bishops in this equal kind of pawn structure. Yeah, now you're just worse. You're not lost. Okay, now you're better because your opponent lets you play knight e7 check, knight c6. No, you played knight e3. Wait, you move your knight a lot. Yeah, and this is a drawn position where you're like fighting for a draw. Because your pawn structure is worse. So far, you're playing fine. Yeah, I wouldn't give up my knight for the bishop. I wouldn't. Because his knight's really good and your bishop doesn't do anything. So now black has winning chances again. I don't understand that move. You play c5 or a5. Why is he playing here? Oh, and then his time ran out here. He played knight d3 because he had no time left. Yeah, so that game you just played too passively. So your passive moves were all like trying to trade instead of improve your position. So like this is where it started. Up until here, you're playing fine. Trading is wrong. And then trading on d5 is probably wrong. On e5, I mean. And then queen d2 is wrong. And now you're just slightly worse. And then you weren't slightly worse later when you got to this position because you didn't play aggressively again, you played passively. So you want to play check, knight c6, and you take over control of the d file, and you stop his pawn from moving, and you're putting pressure on e5. So now you have the advantage. It says 0.4 for you. Because he has to give up the d file to you. He has to protect his pawn. He can't move this pawn. And your knight just sits there and it can't be harassed. So that's one thing that you missed. And now you're just worse again because you have the worst pawn structure. And then you held the draw pretty well. You didn't do anything dumb. I wouldn't have taken the bishop, but okay, that's okay. And then you won on time because it's a 5-minute game. So I can't really complain too much about the last 10 moves because you probably both had less than a minute. And then his time ran out. So good job. Yeah, that wasn't a bad game. It was reasonable. There weren't any blunders, just some small mistakes. Very small. It's a 5-minute game. That's better than I play 5-minute. Are you actually Pete Seeger? All those knight moves. Wrong Seeger. That's Bob Seeger. But you were close. How do you confuse Pete Seeger and Bob Seeger? Very few people know who both of those people are. And they have to be as old as trying to learn to know. This land is Pete Seeger's land. This land is my land. All right, it's your land. From California to the New York Islands, from redwood forests. I am extremely tired tonight. No, anything but that. Okay, so let's see. I can raid Nemsko. All right, let's see who's on my thing here. Oh, it's the same. No, that's Karen's. This is different. I guess I should raid Cheskos Andras. Although, why is he awake? I don't know why he'd be awake. Well, Nemsko's doing poker, and I raid her all the time. Although she raided me yesterday. But Andras is a good guy to raid. All right, tomorrow's my lecture on Fischer Greenblatt. And then Tuesday, I'll see you guys for the next stream, 8:30 Eastern. And I'll see you Tuesday at 11 a.m. for Title Tuesday.